Hello, everyone. This is your market update for Monday, May 19th, 2025. Starting with this week's economic calendar, going to be a pretty light week. Today, we'll get U.S. leading economic indicators, a lot of Fed governors speaking throughout the week. Thursday, initial claims, as well as existing home sales. And then Friday, we'll get new home sales. Over to the headlines. This was the big thing for the weekend. On Friday, after the close, Moody's cut America's pristine credit rating, citing rising debt. Down here, it says Moody's downgraded the U.S. sovereign credit rating on Friday due to concerns about the nation's growing $36 trillion debt pile in a move that could complicate President Trump's efforts to cut taxes and send ripples through the global markets. Today, we're going to start with the 10-year Treasury yield, currently at 4.54%. Yields are rising over the credit downgrade. And again, I think if we get above 4.6% in the 10-year, that's probably going to start to really spook markets. We're heading that direction. And I think if we get above that, that would support a new uptrend in yields. If we look at the 20-year, it's at 5.04%. So it's a little bit higher. We're testing or getting close to the April pivot here as well as the January pivot. And if we get much above 5.10%, I think that'll spook markets. And the 30-year is at 5.01%, and it's testing its April pivot and is above its January pivot. So, and if we look back here, the high set in 2023 was around 5.18%. We're about 17 or 18 basis points away from taking that level out. And I think if the 30-year made fresh highs, that would really begin to spook the markets here. So over to gold, currently trading at $3,244. My guess is we're putting in a cycle low. At first, I thought this was the cycle low. Shortened cycle low, but I don't think so now. I think we just made a new cycle low here probably on May 15th, and that we're going to get a bounce into late May to early June. That's my guess. First, we got to make a swing low here. That would require a close above Thursday's high, and on this chart, that level was $3,244. So if we complete a swing low, then my guess is we're going to see a bounce into late May, early June. I think this cycle will be left translated and that will drop probably into late June and probably test that 3,000 area. If we look at the cycle tool here, I'm pretty sure this was the cycle low. So we had a cycle low here in late February, one here in early April. And I think we just had another cycle low here in mid-May, and that we're probably going to rally, roll over, probably break the May low is my guess, and that we'll probably test the 3,000 area here in late June, maybe around June 23rd, plus or minus a couple trading days. That's my guess. First, we got to get the swing low and see what kind of bounce we get. So this is all preliminary. Over to silver, currently trading at $32.75. I think we'll probably bounce here with gold. And eventually, I think we'll break below 31.90, and ultimately, I think we'll probably retest the April lows, but we could come down to that lower of the range around $26. I don't think we'll go below 26, but maybe 26.50 is a possibility depending on the depth of the decline in gold. Over to GDX, finished down on Friday, 0.34%. I'm guessing we're going to see a bounce here. It looks like we have a similar cycle set up here in miners. And if this was the cycle low, let me get this. It looks like we're running about 26 days between cycle lows right now, and that almost is perfect. So I think we'll see a bounce that could fill this gap here between 49 to 50. We'll just have to see how strong this bounce is, probably into late May, early June. Then I think we'll roll over and probably drop here into the next cycle projected around June 23rd, plus or minus a couple trading days. That's my guess at the time. And we could come all the way down to test the 200-day moving average. But first, we just got to see what kind of bounce we get out of this cycle low. Over to the S&P 500, currently futures at 5,911. Looks like we're trying to form a swing high here. If we complete a swing high, then my guess is we're going to come back down below the 200-day moving average, and then we just got to see what kind of legs this has to the downside. The rally out of the April low was 23% in a little over a month. That was insane, and I'm becoming less confident that we're going to break the April lows. We could come down to retest them, but I think we'd have to see some serious deterioration in, I guess, the markets to make new lows. But we'll see what kind of downside we get here. First, we got to get below the 200-day moving average, and we got to close this gap, and then we'll see what kind of downside we get. But right now, it looks like we are going to form that top I've been looking for, and it looks like we're probably going to start heading lower. Then lastly, over to Bitcoin, currently at $102,650. Basically, we got a rebound similar to the stock market, and I think we're putting in a short-term top here. Prices are forming an outside reversal day. If we complete a swing high, then we're probably going to come back down to test the 50-day EMA. And I think it depends on what the stock market does. If the stock market comes down to retest its April lows, then it's possible Bitcoin is putting in a more significant top, and that we could come back down to the 90,000 range, and we'll have to see what happens there. But overall, I think this rebound is probably coming to an end, and that prices are going to roll over with the stock market. And then we just have to see what kind of downside follow through we get, and we'll have to go from there. So that's it for now. Have yourself a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you later.